Now, are the fires in Brazil's Amazon comparable to those in Central Africa? Shauna in the Cube has been taking a look.
Well, the fires in Brazil's Amazon rainforest have become a top talking point with politicians and the people. And this graph over the past couple of days has been shared widely on social media. It's by NASA, their Fire Information for Resource Management Systems. People began to look at what was happening in the Amazon, particularly in the Amazonas region, to what was happening in Central Africa, countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo. Well, we wanted to know what exactly this graph shows. What are these red dots? Well, we talked to Professor from Johannesburg, and this is what he had to say.
It's a very, very sensitive satellite in space which can detect a fire as small as the garden fire that you might make to burn rubbish in your backyard. And so it simply counts the number of hot spots it sees. You can't translate that directly into area burned because a lot depends on whether that fire is burning in an open, visible area or whether it's burning under the canopy of a tree.
Well, French President Emmanuel Macron has been one of those who's been vocal on social media. He's been calling for the Amazon rainforest to become an international crisis for people to act. But in a later tweet, he said that there's also forest fires in sub-Saharan Africa. Should we be comparing the two? Well, I asked that to Professor Bob Scholes.
So just because the number of fires seems far greater in Africa than it is in Brazil, that doesn't mean necessarily that the ecological damage is greater in Africa than in Brazil. It depends where they're burning and exactly how much area is burned, which you can't tell from those number of hot pixels. The second issue is if you look at the distribution of where the hot pixels are in Africa at this time of the year, they're almost all in savannas, not in rainforests. Now, it's not a good idea for rainforests to burn. That's extremely damaging to them and to the biodiversity they contain. But savannas have to burn. It is part of their evolution. They've burned for the last 7 million years, and there's nothing unusual about that.
So some scientists calling for context as these fires continue.